Okay, so how do you verify then whether or not there's any supervision? When you have no idea
Maybe
where
she can
this will-
stop wondering and just put her trust in the fact that
Your
they're
Honor,
both going to follow
your
court orders.
bias with regard to my client is patently evident.
There is no bias
Throughout
here,
this case,
Ms. Rasmussen. It looks to me like she's trying to find some kind of excuse for having blatantly denied him a visitation and secreted the child during those days.
I instructed it, Your Honor, because there's a 5-year-old little girl coming back from visitation with Dad saying, I've been sodomized.
Does he watch every second of her supervision? Does he worry about every second that she's with the child, or does he trust that she's going to follow the court orders and have...
my client's not sodomizing the child, so what
She's
would be the
alienating
concern?
the child.
There are allegations going both ways, which is
understand.
why we have supervised visitation during an evaluation that I've been having a hard time getting to be completed because Mom will not follow through. She alienates every evaluator. It's ridiculous. I mean, if people were really so concerned, it would be logic and common sense, at least to this court, that this investigation would be happening much more quickly on a fast track, and it hasn't. And it hasn't, not because Dad has not wanted to go forward with investigations through evaluators, but because Mom has had problems with all these evaluators. 10 months later, Mom's now sending PI guys out to see whether Dad's really supervising, and Dad's saying Mom's not being supervised, that she's in her parents' house and not having proper supervision. Why are we out this late? The things that the child's coming home and saying to Mom, tell Dr. Mortallero. I want a report from somebody who's not involved in this case and that's not preparing for trial. The court finds that Dad has not violated any court orders and there is insufficient evidence to change supervisors when Dad is in Dad's care. Both parties are under supervised visitation at this time. For her contemptuous unilateral denial of Dad's visitation and secreting the minor child from Dad during his residential time, Mom shall be sanctioned by serving 2 days, 48 full hours in Clark County Detention Center. This order shall not be subject to depopulation of the jail. She shall additionally pay Dad's attorney's fees in an amount. Carol, you may submit that amount to me. And
Judge, are you done?
I'm done.
Thank you, ma'am. Stand up. Thank you.
Yep, we're done.
Your Honor, I left a voicemail message for Mr. Kafusi at the only phone number I have for him. I indicated to him that he is to turn himself in to the Clark County Detention Center, that the court's indicated that he's going to serve the entire 15 days at some point or another, and my advice to him is to do it now.
As we started this case, Mr. Kafusi was able, through his misrepresentations, to turn everybody's eyes away from him and to turn them onto Miss Barney. We have a guardian ad litem. He wouldn't even go visit the child at the home. He'd rather argue about it than go visit. It took Miss Winkler one visit to go visit that home to realize this child was in danger, and we needed to get her out. But she sat there for about 2 years in this home, being assaulted quietly. And now that it's turned against him, of course, he becomes a fugitive. Miss Barney came, and she was falsely imprisoned based upon his representations, and
She did time in jail.
She came, and she was put in jail, hauled off, while everyone watched him laugh at her.
Phil doesn't know about that.
And she sat there. The only thing that she said, Your Honor, that night was, "Please protect my baby. Please protect my baby." And that's a mother's love. You're sitting in jail, and all you can think about is your baby.
And we, the trust here, this place that I sit in, you know, not me personally, but myself as a judge sitting in this court, I have been played. And I have been in cases involved where you've been involved that were sex abuse cases. You know the way that I approach a case like this. And this guy fools everybody. He's had a lawyer after lawyer. He fooled Stephanie Holland. He has kept...
Or perhaps.
Well, the one thing I'm wondering at this point, I'm not saying that he's a guilty man in terms of the allegations in a criminal manner, but they have a right to pursue that. But what he isn't is he is not here. And if he's not here, why not?
Mr. Kafusi was served with requests for admission based on all of this. He was served in open court for 30 days. He failed to respond under the rules. He's admitted what most of what Mr. Booth is talking about. He admits to not giving the information about the child's whereabouts that the court vacated the order. He admits under there that he sexually molested his daughter.
Okay. The case shall be unsealed.
So based upon that, I don't see any problem unsealing the record.
The case
Well,
shall be unsealed.
And Your Honor, based upon
And the
that,
gag order shall be lifted. That's all I have to say on the record. Any request for admissions in this case, and the deadline has passed, then those, all those questions are deemed admitted. All those answers are deemed admitted. And you can submit an order to that effect. This is a sad case.